Hey, good morning to you. Good afternoon. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Hope you're having a very blessed Saturday out there. Good Shabbos to all you taking your Sabbath. Matter of fact, with the information I have this morning, after this video, I'll be going into my Sabbath as well and finish off with my Sabbath. But I feel like y'all need a good update as what's going on because there's a lot of information out there as far as what's going on with this storm, and it is still lopsided. If you've never been here before, hello. My name is Mark. I do upload every single day. Just not Friday from sundown to Saturday from sundown. That's when I take my Sabbath. I just need to do an update today. I actually had one last night with the potential of a Cat 2, Cat 3 still showing. And I was making the video, and I'm glad I didn't make the video because those chances have gone down. So I didn't want to put that out there and get people all scared of a potential Cat 3 hurricane. Matter of fact, this thing is weakening, and it is literally about to either die down to a tropical storm and intensify at the last second in the Gulf, or it's going to stay weak and maybe get close to a low-end hurricane, high-end tropical storm towards Florida. Now, I always put the timestamps in the description to save you time, so please use those if you need to see whatever it is you need to see today. Thank you for visiting my channel. Hit the like button if you enjoy this update. God bless you all. Now, this is us as of early this morning. The 5 o'clock update is out, and it is some pretty good news. Now, as you can see, the core of the storm is really having a hard time holding on to its energy. At the mid levels, it's way over here. On the lower levels, the center is way to the northwest. So it's very lopsided. You can even see it, kind of like the hairs combed back from all the shear hitting against the storm. And even the rain bands in front of it actually has more density of rain in the ones hitting towards Puerto Rico than we have in the core of this storm. But at the same time, you can see the dry air that is not really affecting it too much. It has gone into it a little bit and has separated from the storms, as it's already separated from the main core. You can see it getting separated. And there's not a whole bunch left to it. So whether this really survives after it hits the Cuba Mountains is a good question, but a lot of the ensembles and the models are showing that this thing will actually weaken on down. There is a chance still after that, but I'm showing with the shear that it really don't have too long of a chance to intensify. It does have a period where it can intensify. Now, as of the 5 a.m. update this morning, it's still predicted to be a hurricane as it goes towards Cuba, but now it's predicted to weaken all the way down to a tropical storm right when it first starts hitting Cuba. But it does show that it will continue to be a tropical storm as it crosses over Cuba. And a couple of the models show that it will go towards Cape Coral, and it could even intensify a little bit again there as well. And some of the models show that it will be either right past Tampa or towards Tallahassee. And that's mainly because we have a very deep trough with a high ridge going to it, but a lot of wind shear coming on this sucker as soon as it comes off of Cuba. Now, there is a period where right before it gets towards the panhandle of Florida, right about even with Tampa in the Gulf, where the shear goes away, and it has a period where it can intensify. So something still can happen. However, that change will not happen within the next 24 hours. It still needs 2 to 3 days before it reaches this far. But a cone of uncertainty is still going towards Florida and the southeast and coming out towards the mid-Atlantic by Virginia, Delaware, Maryland. Now, the 5 a.m. update has 75 miles per hour sustained wind still, and the pressure is at 998, so it did weaken. It was a 995. The main thing is that it's still moving west-northwest, but it's going so fast, 31 miles per hour, it don't have time to get reorganized again before it's going to go over Cuba. And here's a 3-day update. It has it a hurricane until it gets towards Cuba, and then go to a tropical storm right past Cuba and continue to be a tropical storm. And then after it goes there, it's predicted to stay a tropical storm all the way past South Carolina. Now, this is pretty much the path that it's looking at, and you can see how Jamaica, you're very much on the edge of it. And the highest part of the mountains is really not going to crash into, but it is going across a long stretch of land. And when you look at the model guidance from GFS, you can see how it gets towards Jamaica and then it bottles around for a while. The high elevations of the Jamaican mountains really does weaken it down also. Look at it right there. It didn't even have a surface low. Then when it goes towards Cuba, it starts strengthening again because the waters are very warm. Matter of fact, that's the warmest waters is right before Cuba. Then after Cuba, his landfall weakens it down again where it don't even have a surface low. Still has rotation, it gets back together, but at this point it has a very deep trough, I'll show you, and does create a good ridge, and it kind of blocks it to where it has to be either on the edge of the panhandle of Florida all the way towards Cedar Keys, somewhere north of Tampa. That's pretty much the sweet spot where this has to go. And at this point, I'll show you in a minute, the wind shear is gone and it has a chance to intensify before landfall. But you can see it here Tuesday by 11 a.m. The system starts moving alongside of Florida. And then right here at 2 a.m. on Wednesday, it has its best chance to intensify towards either Panama City, Tallahassee, even Pensacola Heights has a chance. But I think it's going to turn a little more towards Gainesville because of the high pressure is retracting back a little bit, and it's going to swing it around back where we first started, I believe. As it goes on land over Florida, 992, 996, still a strong tropical storm. Anything can still happen once it gets in these waters. And the 6Z, which is out, guys. Here's the latest run this morning. You can see it is a very low millibar coming out of Florida, and it tries to turn into southern Florida just like H. Wharf is showing. And then it comes back out. It does not go in, rides right down the coast, and then curves like it's been showing as a weaker tropical storm. So either way, we're looking at tropical storm conditions. So you do need to prepare for tropical storm. It definitely won't be weaker than that. Now the temperature that it's going to have while it goes through this is it's going to be a good 83 degrees, and it's coming from 82 degrees. So I think that will help it continue to hold its own as it goes through this, because all these temperatures are above average for this time of year. It does get all the way up to 85 degrees as soon as it gets towards Cuba, and this is the warmest part of the Caribbean. It gets up to 86, and they're predicting it to go down to a tropical storm because you have high elevations, and it's going to eat up the right side of this storm. Although the eye is still going over the warmer parts of the water, but it is more shallower right here. But as it goes by Cuba, you see it goes 86, 85. It's still very warm waters. Even comes out the other side of Cuba at 83. So it needs 80 to sustain what it's going to do. And if it does turn early towards Florida, it is 83, 84 degrees as well. So I think that warmer waters will help it intensify as it gets closer towards landfall. If it does not take that turn like the H. Wharf and the H-Mon is showing and heads towards the panhandle of Florida, it is a little bit cooler waters. It's 81 and 82 as it gets over there. While it's fighting all this wind shear, it would be hard to maintain. Actually, it would be more of a possibility of a low-end hurricane if it does follow this path to southern Florida. Now, the first 5 days of Euro actually has a rainfall for Jamaica. It can be anywhere from 3 to 5 inches for the east side of the island as this passes north over you. And as it comes past Cuba and gets into Florida, it's still showing that it's going to cause a lot of rainfall, over 5 or 6 inches for Sarasota and Tampa and the surrounding areas. And over here in south and southeast Florida, it's actually going to be light, which is a good thing, especially for Surfside. God bless all of you dealing with that over there. That's very tragic. But it shows northern Florida also can get anywhere from 4+ inches of rainfall from this storm, and that's according to the Euro. The GFS actually shows that it will be either 3 inches towards the southeast of Jamaica, but it's still showing a little bit over 4 inches. It looks like Port Antonio seems to be at a hot spot on both of the models. Now, so far, Bahamas, both models are showing that very light rainfall for y'all. Y'all don't have anything to worry about. However, that will change if the H. Wharf or the H-Mon is correct. They both are showing a turn into southern Florida, and it would come your way. I will update you if that happens. But as of right now, this morning, the update shows that it's going towards Tallahassee with the heavy rainfall of over 5 inches, and northern Florida would be more like 1 or 2 inches. Also shows that if that was to play out that way, Baton Rouge will get over 2 inches, Gulfport, Mississippi, a little over 3 inches, a little over an inch anywhere north. Mobile, Alabama, a couple of inches. But this is where it starts to get heavy, where it's southeast Alabama, even central Georgia, all the way up to Marietta, almost a couple of inches. With the main spot being right in Tallahassee for 5 inches of rainfall, 2 inches northern for Florida. There's a couple hot spots that could get 4 or 5 or even 6 inches. Sarasota, a couple inches, and southeast Florida, maybe an inch. Matter of fact, Surfside, I'm only showing that you're going to get less than an inch within the next 5 days. So that's a good thing. That's a blessing. And the rainfall track seems to go right up towards Atlanta, Georgia, getting a couple inches. A little east of you is 5 inches. As it goes west to the upstate of South Carolina, and you get a couple inches, maybe 2 inches west of Greenville. We will see that track might change if the intensity changes. If it gets stronger, it will curve more to the east, and all this will be a little further south. And if that track does continue, it will continue to go straight over South Carolina, still predicted to be a tropical storm by NOAA, and curve out towards Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, southern Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island. Y'all all going to get in on the rainfall and the wind if that does confirm. With about 2 to 3 inches all the way across the trail, even southern Jersey getting close to 4 inches, and the northeast getting 2 to 3 inches as well. Now the update track shows that in 48 hours, literally, it will be going over Cuba. This is be the worst part for the storm. This is where it will weaken the most. Even though the higher elevations is over here on the eastern side of Cuba, it's not getting a whole bunch in that. It will go from hurricane force to tropical storm force, so it will downgrade it. But now it's going through some very warm waters, 85 and 86 degrees, where it can still hold its own, I believe, as it crosses this. It's just when it crosses over right here, that's a little iffy. Either way, 3 days, it could either be going to southern Florida, or it could still be a little more western in the Gulf of Mexico and take that wide turn towards Tallahassee, like it's been showing. I think it's going to curve at the last second. I think it's going to intensify a little bit. The wind shear is going to give in. The high pressure retracts back and leaves a big open area for it to pull in. And that would confirm this right here in 4 days, still hitting where it showed for the last few runs. And your update, the 6Z shows a lot of downgrading. The 18Z showed it a possible Cat 3 before it goes towards Cuba. And the 0Z showed it a possible Cat 2. So the trend was weakening. So that's why I didn't make that video last night. I was starting to make it, and I said, no, something don't feel right. The update this morning shows the highest potential is to be a Cat 1 before it hits Cuba, and then it's going to downgrade from the mountains and the high elevations from Cuba. But it's still a couple models show that it can strengthen right back up in 3 days when it passes Cuba, still to get to a Cat 1 hurricane. Even at HMON shows that it has a chance to go to a Cat 1 after. And a CTCI just takes it ripping straight up to a Cat 2 because the waters are very warm, very much above average. And this is what I'm talking about. Right before it goes towards Cuba, this is your H wharf. It has it down to a 973, which is still a hurricane. Now, the last 2 runs show that it was very strong, a 969 and a 960, which was almost a Cat 4 hurricane. It had it right on the edge of 130 miles per hour winds. And you can see how it just downgrades it quickly and just eats up on this system. It loses a lot of its rotation, a lot of its formation is getting sheared off to the east. And then when it finally comes out of Cuba and heads towards Florida Keys, it starts strengthening in those very warm waters. And so far in 994, going towards southern Florida, more like Cape Coral and not Tampa. At the same time, if HMON were to play out, you can see all the storms that would come over southern Florida. Matter of fact, the whole state, because it would run right on down the whole state. So I kind of hope that really don't play out, because that would be really bad for not only a lot of people, but also for Surfside. And the last thing they need is rain right now and some winds. But we'll see what the update is after it comes off of Cuba. Either way, this will be Tuesday. And the HMON actually brings it a little bit closer. It's a little bit weaker as well, but it brings it turning a little bit more southern on Florida before it heads somewhere towards the east side of Florida towards the Bahamas. So I will update y'all, of course, on your rainfall amounts if that is what's going to happen. Now, right here, this is your wind shear. And right after it crosses over Cuba is right where the wind shear starts on this system. And you can see the deep trough right here coming up. And so far, it's right here, and it's not releasing real high yet. So it has a good chance for it to be sheared and go more east right there. You can even see the wind shear picks up and strengthens. But after it passes at one point, this is according to the GFS, that the wind shear kind of weakens down some, and you can even see in its path it's very weak. So it takes a more northern approach and it goes straight towards Tallahassee. But right here at this point, you see those strong trough that it has very strong wind shear right before landfall, and that wouldn't stop it from doing some serious intensifying back to a hurricane. It would put it back to a very strong tropical storm, but it would not put it to a hurricane because of the shear being so strong and the storm still being lopsided. So the chances in 72 hours for the surface low be either a 998, 994, a little bit western with a 996, but the majority of them shows it be somewhere around 1002, 1004. Now with the ensembles from 3 to 4 days, there's a couple options. It could either be weak, as you see in a lot of the ensembles, or it could be right here towards the panhandle of Florida, somewhere around Tallahassee, and that's less than 5 days. That's right around 4 days. It could be right here going in towards somewhere around Tampa, or it could be weak for Louisiana and going towards Tampa. That's also a possibility. And in 5 days, if it stays and goes a little bit slower, it could be right on towards Tallahassee, or it could be again going a little bit west of the panhandle of Florida towards Alabama. Now the Euro model, and I didn't want to leave the Euro out. Euro is a good model. For some reason, it's just really washy on this run. But as you see it go towards Cuba, and it really wears it down, a lot of the energy gets taken on the east side of Florida, but it shows it going right out of Cuba by Florida Keys and actually strengthening up and going towards northern Florida. So that would be the turn that I would believe more, because the high pressure does retract back a little bit. Instead of it continuing towards Tallahassee, this is a little more believable that it will do a turn at the last second. And that's the runs that we've been seeing for a while, and it was trending. I do believe that will come back. Now the nav gem shows that it will go over Cuba and it will wear this down, and then the high pressure will retract back a good bit to where it can get into western Bahamas, eastern Florida, go right over Miami. All the bad winds would be on the east side loaded. But it could be a problem for the southeast. You could be looking at a tropical storm on the coast of South Carolina, North Carolina. It comes out and still affects Delaware, Virginia, Maryland, southern New Jersey. And as it heads north, it will affect also Long Island, Rhode Island, a little bit of Connecticut on its way out. So that's a possibility as well. And so far, Jamaica with the wave height, you see how it curves and you don't get the majority of the waves anymore, which is a very good thing. Matter of fact, the highest you get is still on the north side, and it's only about 13 feet. So it looks like y'all really missed a bullet on this one. God bless. That's a great thing. Maybe 11 feet on the east side. And that's within the next few days. I'm not going to show our impacts for the Gulf because we don't know what the information is when it comes off of Cuba, so that could change. And that is the update so far, guys. Okay, it looks like so far we have some good news. And we could use some good news lately. I don't know about y'all, but I love some good news. So that's a good thing. It looks like hopefully still after it hits Cuba, it'll continue to stay this way and Florida is dodging a hurricane. That'd be a great thing. The tropical storm will still cause problems, but it'll be a lot easier to deal with and maybe even bring in some much needed rainfall to some parts of Florida. However, I'm going to play this for you. This NAM 3K. You'll see that the storm's continuing to come down with this cold front, and towards the end of the run, you can see some of the rain bands starting to come out of Cuba, southern Bahamas, even some storms starting to hit a little bit of Miami as it starts getting a little bit closer. It starts showing about all the way till Monday morning. So God bless every single one of you. I hope you have a very blessed day today. I will not be updating this afternoon. I will be in my Sabbath. I don't see anything much to do as far as an update. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Hope you have a very blessed day today. I'd love to read to you from our Father on our Sabbath. Amen. Exodus 20. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy, the seventh day. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for God is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where God was. And the Lord said unto Moses, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, Ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Amen. God bless you all today. Hope you have a very blessed Saturday. Hope you have a very great weekend. I hope this storm continues to weaken down. Hopefully we're just dealing with a tropical depression. That would be nice. Have a very, very blessed day. This is some good news this morning. All glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, Father of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, our Father, your Father. Amen. Thank the Lord. God bless you all. Have a great day.